Some of the most popular SUVs in America are quietly failing, and dealers won't tell you. People are buying them every day, driving them home, and just weeks later, they're stuck on the side of the road with massive repair bills. This isn't rare. It's happening right now to thousands of families. Mechanics already know which SUVs to avoid, but they won't say it on record. Today, we're exposing 3 of them, and the number 1 SUV, it was so dangerous, it triggered an official stop sale order. You need to see this before you buy anything. Let's start with a car that looks incredible on paper. Spacious 3-row interior, class-leading cargo space. Available Super Cruise hands-free driving. On paper, this car reads like a dream. But here's what the brochure doesn't show you. In December 2025, Consumer Reports did something they almost never do. They stripped the 2026 Chevrolet Traverse of its coveted recommended rating. Gone. Removed. Based on data collected from over 380,000 real vehicle owners. The largest automotive reliability survey in America. The verdict? The 2026 Traverse is predicted to be less reliable than the average new car. And this isn't a first offense. The Traverse has scored below-average reliability for the majority of its production history. 10 out of 16 model years have landed in the below-average category. This is a pattern, not a fluke. So what is actually going wrong? Owners reported a cluster of problems to Consumer Reports: transmission issues, body hardware flaws, electronics glitches, and mysterious noises and leaks. On Edmunds, real owners describe experiences that should make any buyer's stomach turn. One owner described their brand new 2025 Traverse stopping communication with the key fob just 3 days after delivery. The transmission locked. The car couldn't be moved. General Motors had no fix. 2 months later, the same problem returned. Another buyer wrote simply, "Do not purchase a Traverse until they fix their computer problem." Now here's the number mechanics really don't want you to think about. RepairPal reports, the probability of a severe or major repair on the Traverse is 18%. That's compared to just 12% for the average vehicle across all categories. That means you are 50% more likely to face a serious, expensive repair on this car than on a typical vehicle. And the average annual unscheduled repair cost? $656. Above the class average. Edmunds' own expert testing team gave the 2026 Traverse just 6.3 out of 10. Their reviewers noted an engine that feels underpowered, particularly the new turbocharged 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, and front seats that were criticized as uncomfortable on long drives. And that engine noise under hard acceleration? Multiple reviews mention it. You're going to hear it every time you merge onto a highway. Here's the real number that should scare you. The 2026 Chevrolet Traverse. Consumer Reports. Recommended rating, revoked. Reliability, below average. Severe repair probability, 18%. Number 3 on our never buy list. Number 2 is the car with the most loyal fan base in the midsize SUV segment. The car that sells itself on adventure, prestige, and power. The car that, on its best days, is genuinely impressive, but on its worst days, and there are many worse days, becomes a financial nightmare that its own dealers quietly dread. The 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Let's start with Consumer Reports. Their verdict: the 2026 Grand Cherokee is predicted to be less reliable than the average new car. This prediction is built on 3 years of data. 2023, 2024, and 2025 models all showed below average reliability, and the 2026 model carries that same DNA. The numbers tell a damning story. Across its recent model history, the Grand Cherokee has accumulated 97 recalls and 2,592 owner complaints. 97 recalls. For context, that is one of the highest recall counts of any vehicle in its class. And the complaints reveal a consistent pattern: electrical system failures, powertrain problems, and infotainment meltdowns. The 2026 model specifically has already been hit with 2 NHTSA recalls. One involves a software error in the hybrid control processor that can result in a sudden and complete loss of drive power. The other involves a high-voltage battery in the Grand Cherokee 4xe models that may fail and cause a vehicle fire, while parked or while you're driving. Hyundai Motor America is recalling vehicles with the potential to catch fire. Let that sink in. And Kelley Blue Book's own consumer data is brutal. Among 40 owners who reviewed the 2026 Grand Cherokee, 38%, nearly 4 in 10 buyers, gave it the lowest possible rating of 1 star out of 5. 1 star on a brand new $41,000 vehicle. The real-world owner horror stories are extraordinary. On Edmunds, one owner described their Grand Cherokee dying completely on the road, losing all power, throttle, and brake control simultaneously. The car filling with smoke while they were unable to engage the hazard lights. The transmission needed complete replacement. The car sat in the shop for more than 120 days, 8 months, on a brand new vehicle under warranty. Another buyer described their brand new Summit Reserve dying at 300 miles due to a major electrical defect after Jeep performed invasive repairs and the car failed again. Stellantis, the parent company, refused a replacement or buyback. Their advice to the owner? Pursue arbitration. Here's what mechanics privately understand about this car. The Jeep Grand Cherokee is not unreliable the way cheap cars are unreliable. It is unreliable in a more expensive, more frustrating way. The components are heavier. The systems are more complex. When something fails, and statistically it will, the parts cost more, the labor takes longer, and the dealer network is less equipped to handle cutting-edge electronics than a Toyota or Honda service center. Annual maintenance costs average $666 per year, above the segment average. And when it breaks seriously, the air suspension repairs alone can run $2,000 to $4,000. The 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee, 97 recalls across its history. Fire risk recall active right now. 38% of buyers giving it 1 star. Consumer Reports, below average reliability. Number 2 on our never buy list. But our number 1? This one genuinely shocked us. Because it's a car people are still buying right now. Even after a stop sale order, even after a child was killed. I want you to stop what you're doing right now and pay close attention, because what I'm about to tell you about this car is not from a forum post. It is not speculation. It is documented by the federal government, confirmed by Consumer Reports, and has already resulted in the death of a child. The 2026 Hyundai Palisade, dead silence, let the weight land. In early 2026, Hyundai issued a stop sale recall for certain 2026 Palisade and Palisade hybrid models. A stop sale recall means no dealership in America is legally allowed to sell these vehicles until the defect is fixed. That is how serious this is. The problem, the powered second and third row seats do not contain sufficient anti-pinch protection. What does that mean in plain English? The seats can fold, slide, and move automatically while a passenger is still sitting in them, and they will keep moving. Consumer Reports reviewed complaints filed with NHTSA and found 3 separate incidents of exactly this happening since November 2025. 2 resulted in injuries. 1 resulted in the death of a child. This is not a software glitch. This is not a minor inconvenience. A child died because a powered seat moved without warning and without stopping. And Hyundai's response to one owner who experienced a near-identical situation was to deny their buyback request, calling it not warranted, even though the vehicle required a full engine harness replacement within 2 weeks of delivery. And the seat recall is not the only problem. The 2026 Palisade is simultaneously under a separate recall for instrument panel display failure. The speedometer, the odometer, the tachometer, safety warning indicators, all of them going completely blank while the vehicle is in motion. An owner wrote to NHTSA, "The entire instrument cluster goes black while driving. I have a video of it. Took it to Hyundai. They told me it is not a safety concern. A moving vehicle with a blank speedometer is not a safety concern." That was Hyundai's official position. It gets worse. A 2026 Palisade Calligraphy with fewer than 400 miles on the odometer experienced total acceleration failure. The vehicle, carrying 2 young children, repeatedly failed to engage gears when the accelerator was pressed. The car simply would not move. The cause was traced to a loose pin in a critical engine control wiring harness. on a brand new vehicle with 400 miles on it. And Hyundai's official response to the owner's buyback request? Denied. Now here's where the story becomes genuinely infuriating. Owners who currently drive a 2026 Palisade in the Calligraphy and Limited trims were told they could request a rental vehicle from their dealership to use, while waiting for a software update that addresses a defect that already killed a child. A software update, as the interim fix for a powered seat that crushed a child. And despite all of this, despite 2 active federal recalls, despite a stop sale order, despite the seat fatality, despite the instrument cluster failures, despite owners reporting lemon law violations, Hyundai has not issued a full buyback program. They have issued a software patch. Owners without an active BlueLink subscription cannot even receive the update remotely. They have to drive their recalled vehicle to a dealership. The 2026 Hyundai Palisade starts at $40,695, and at the top, calligraphy trim pushes past $56,000. For that money, you are currently buying a vehicle under a federal stop sale order with 2 active recalls, one of which is linked to a child fatality and an instrument cluster that may go blank at highway speed. This is our #1 car to never buy in 2026. Not because it is poorly designed, not because it drives badly, it actually drives quite well, but because right now, in this moment, the data tells you this car is not ready. The recalls are not resolved. The deaths and injuries are documented. And the manufacturer's response to its own customers has been to deny buybacks and offer interim software patches. Your family deserves better than that.